My name is Myriam Jean-Baptiste, and I am the co-founder of lscreamliqueur.
My name is Steven Charles, and I'm the co-founder of lscreamliqueur. So the story about lscream is it's a wild adventure. So growing up, when you grow up in a Haitian household, you grow up with this recipe that's called cremas, and you see your grandmothers, your aunts, even my mom. They were always doing this delicious creamy recipe every holiday. Basically, one day we were at a family function and we saw a bottle of cremas on the table, and basically we thought to ourselves at this point, like, why do we need to wait every Christmas to be able to enjoy cremas? Like all year we've been craving it and so forth. So we started to look into it, and that's where we got the idea to say, what if we put the taste of cremas and put it in the form of a traditional cream that could be available, in liquor stores, restaurants, and so forth. So that's really where the idea came from.
And basically, it's a cremas. It's something that's done with love. It's always shared by family members. And like Steven said, it's like the first alcohol that you taste. Even as a kid, you'll always have somebody that will say, okay, just take a little sip, so it's something that's introduced to us at a very early age. The idea behind it was really to have something of excellence. We really wanted to shed a positive light also on our heritage, on Haiti, and to put this into the form of a cream that could be sold and that could be made out of cocktails and everything like that. So that was really the idea behind everything that we did for LS.
So LS is actually my initials and my grandmother's initials mixed together. It's like the past and the future, they mix, and then it creates LS, right? So basically her recipe is what inspired the content of the bottle.
And we wanted to pay homage also to that. This is a legacy brand. It's something that we want to pass on. We really want it to be like a legacy brand, so that's why we wanted to pay homage and put our initials there.
And you can say LS in French and in English.
Yeah.
It's going to sound the same, LS.
The biggest challenge, I think it's really we're from Montreal, so we started here in Quebec, and just to understand that every state has their own legislations, has their own rules, and to navigate through that, in the alcohol industry. I think that was a pretty good challenge for us. We had to educate ourselves a lot to be able to navigate.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is, like Myriam said, it's the industry itself, right? So the industry has a lot of barriers in terms of the gatekeepers. There's a lot of old money that's attached to liquor. When you think about prohibition, the fact that you need specific distributors in every state to be able to sell your product. So give it an example is, ever since we started LS, we wanted to be in Boston, because we had a lot of demand there for the product. But until one distributor says yes, you can't sell it, even though the store wants it,
even though the clients
wants it. If the distributor don't need you because they're already making a lot of money, so you really need to find ways to make your product really, appealing to those distributors, because they're controlling your fate, basically, because without them, you're not able to sell. So that was the biggest hurdle for us, understanding it. Even in Quebec with the SAQ, which is a liquor board that, it's a monopoly, that's even worse, because it's a monopoly, right? So if they don't want you, it's done, But navigating this was really like definitely a challenge. But we could go into the details of getting the recipe done. We could go into the details of getting the bottles done, or and all the manufacturing headaches that comes in with that. But
the financing.
Yeah, financing.
Financing is something that's super important.
But financing, the reason why I don't talk about financing, because you feel that all entrepreneurs have an issue with getting financing. So I don't think in our case we're special, but I think what makes us special is really the fact that we persevere in an industry that's really controlled by old white men. So when you go into the room, when Myriam goes into a room, or where I go into the room, you know, like it's crazy. Like even I remember I went to the first conference at WSWA in 2014, and at that time we had no product, nothing. It was just there, you know, to build the brand and whatever. So we just have samples in, like, it was not even the bottle that we have now. It was like,
small bottles.
yeah, it was small bottles, clear bottles with a sticker on there and whatever. Two things happened there. I realized that we were out of our league in the sense that, you know, I have no idea the industry we're getting into. We're the only, you know, black people there. There was like 3,000 people, and we're the only black owners of a liquor there. And the other thing that we realized is also that the product is good because we won the gold medal on the back of a sample, like on that day. And, you know, it's just a question of, you know, persevere. But when you're talking about challenge, it brings me back so much, like, to all the steps that needs to be done in order to say, oh, I have this liquor on the shelf, you know. Yeah.
I think the main difference is most probably like the notes. You have the cinnamon, the coconut, the nutmeg, the vanilla. LS is made out of neutral grain spirits, whereas a lot of the times cream liqueurs are made out, you know, they're rum based or they're whiskey based. But above all of this, I think that, you know, the fact that there's the heritage behind it, the story, the legacy, you know, this is something that we took from Steven's grandmother's recipe. She had left it in a handwritten note in a little Ziploc bag, and his mother, his aunts were like passing this along every Christmas to make it. So we really took that piece of our heritage and we really wanted to share it with the world. So yes, the product is good. We're an award-winning cream liqueur, but on top of that, I think that the heritage and that piece of legacy is also something that differentiates ourselves. Also by the fact that customers more and more, they're, you know, attracted to knowing who's behind the brand. They like to support local. They like to support, you know, smaller brands. So again, I think that everything is in our favor to be able to strive.
And if I may add, I think we never forget that when we got the idea for this, we didn't just, you know, oh, we're gonna do it, whatever. Like, we did a lot of market research, but what we did also is we went to one of our friends from university, and basically he was celebrating his birthday, and we were the only, you know, Asian / black people there, right? It was about like 40 people, and so what we did is we bought a bottle of traditional cremas, homemade, you know, the OG stuff. And and basically we put it in the bucket right next to the gin, the wine, the vodka, whatever you name it, right? The beers. And we didn't say nothing. Like, nobody saw us put it there, but we just put it there. We're just watching people, right? And sure enough, like, people started to gravitate, because you could see it was something weird, because it was basically a cream in a vodka bottle, you know, so people
like
knew
it's normally made,
like yeah, you know, yeah.
Made,
so people knew it was like some kind of homemade thing and whatever. So, and they were really interested. So they started pouring it, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's really good," you know,
what
like.
Is it?
So then we said, "Listen, this is something that we're thinking of doing. Like, you never tasted this, obviously. So how do you find it?" It's like, "Oh my God, it's really good," you know. The only comments that came out was the thing. That's where the LS Cream idea came. For where the evolution of cremas is, because, like, they said, you know what, it's really good, but it's a bit too thick, and, you know, when you drink it like in a clear glass, when you drink cremas, what's going to happen is you're going to see all the sugar residues on the side of your glass, right? All the spices are going to be there, because it's not
the sugar.
because it's not homogeneous. It's not like you basically do that in your kitchen and you whip it by hand, right? You know. So they were like, yeah, it's not really appealing it's really tasty, but once you look at the glass, you know, you're like, what am I drinking? You know, whatever. So that's where we wanted, like, maybe to do. We really wanted to create something that would have the taste of cremas, but without those quote unquote, you know, hurdles and stuff. And the main thing that we wanted to fix also was the life expectancy. So the shelf life. The shelf life of the product, because you make cremas at home, 2 weeks it's done.
It's separated.
Whether you put it in the fridge, whatever, it's gonna be done.
And on top of that, I mean, what came out from that little, you know, market study was also that, a guy took it and he's like, it's so good, I would mix it with something else. Like, let me do a cocktail with it. And regular cremas, you're not really able to mix it. I mean, you drink it straight. This is the typical recipe that you do. But that also, confirmed that we needed to do something that could be sold in bars, sold in restaurants. LS makes an amazing espresso martini. You can make different cocktails with it, mix it with different spirits. So that's also something that we wanted to differentiate ourselves with. And yeah, that's what we did. So Stevens and I, we actually met in college. We were both going at HSC, which is a business school here in Montreal. We graduated, went on the market right away on the work market. Stevens working for, were you working for a bank at that time first?
No,
or?
First I was working for the marketing company.
For the marketing company. I was working for a cigarette company. So I was with a big cigarette company selling, I was a rep. So going on the road.
She used to smoke like...
Never smoked a cigarette in my life.
15 packs a day. 15 packs a day.
Never smoked a cigarette in my life. But, they came, recruited me directly out of college. So it was a good job, very good salary, very good benefits. And then, we just went on, had a very good experience. And a couple of years later, maybe 5 years into that, the idea of LS started to germ. As business people, I think that it's very smart to fund your dreams. So at that point, Stevens and I said, okay, well, he was the one that really was the day-to-day and everything. So we said, okay, well, you go ahead. You focus 100% on the business. I'll keep working, keep gaining that experience, keep funding our dreams also. So that's what we did. And then after that, I moved on, worked for Style du Soleil for about almost 5 years as a business development manager. And I think that all these experiences that I had, whether it was with Imperial Tobacco or with Style du Soleil, really build me up to be what I'm now doing for LS, which is the business development, going to the markets, working with the reps, working with our territories, making sure that the product is distributed correctly and all of that. So all of that, when people say everything happens for a reason, it really did all come together in my case, and very happy to be now 100% with LS. And although I was always in the background, but I think that to be able to really put your business where you want it to be, you really need to be focused. So that's what we did for now.
I guess for me, my business path started really, really early because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was really small. I remember when I was in elementary school, I used to draw comic books, and I basically sold them to the people in my class. So I was 8 years old, I think, and I was doing this, and then going to high school, I was always involved. In terms of getting into a class president, stuff like that, making my own campaign, my own slogan, posters in the hallways and whatever, and stuff like that. So all the way to university when I started to do parties and stuff. So for me, I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do, but I knew I was gonna be an entrepreneur in some kind of shape or form. So that's when the idea of LS came. It was just I'm going full in because I feel there's something there, So I work for a video game company. I work for a marketing agency. I work for a bank for a really long time. Always in sales or marketing and so forth, but I always felt a bigger calling.
Purpose,
yeah, a better purpose, a bigger purpose, if you want to say it that way. And anytime I had a job, I was always doing something else on the side, So that's pretty much my path to LS.
You couldn't keep a job.
I couldn't keep a job. That's what she said.
Basically.
I couldn't. It's not true. It's not. There's one job I got fired after 7 days. Just one. I moved to Toronto and I got fired after 7 days.
He calls me, he's like, I'm coming back home, babe.
But
7 days.
It was
wow.
not fair. It was
Wow,
not
wow,
fair.
wow.
It was not fair. The girl was not fair.
Anyway.
I didn't listen.
Well, yeah, we have 2 kids, Preston, who's 9, and Kennedy, who's 7. and they're at an age that they really understand what we're doing, and it's really important for us. We've always said that we'll always be super transparent with them. So we have to travel a lot. We always make sure that there's at least one of us, as much as possible, that stays home with them while the other one is traveling, and then we just give a high five and we and we switch it up. But for sure, it's a challenge, but at the same time, I think they're getting exposed to different things that, that are important in life. How to, continue, how to push through things, and they see us. They see how, it's important for us what we're doing with LS, the impact that it has also with the community, or when they travel with us also to the States, they see like LS on the shelves of the store, and they're like, okay, so that's what you're doing when you're not home. And for us, it's all about transparency and communication.
Yeah, I think it's really important to show them, at an early age, the work ethic. Right now, the kids, they're always asking us questions about the business, They're like, oh, okay, so when you deliver the bottles, who pays you? When do you get the money? Where did, like, whatever. So yeah, you see that their brain's already working. And I think it's a great experience for them to see. They've been on the road with us also, like, a couple of times, and yeah, I think we have a pretty core support group. Like, our mom, my mom, like together, like they're basically superwomen, and sometimes it do happen that we need to travel together. So you need to have somebody that's going to be able to take care of them, like from morning to night, and bring them to school, homework and stuff like that. So that's why it's important. Yeah.
That we didn't give up, that we pushed through, that we're continuing to push through, and that we're together. I think that the understanding that Stevens and I have, the level of communication also, is what is allowing us to keep on going and keep on pushing through. So I think that's one of the things that I'm very proud of. We work with Hope for Haiti, which is an organization that does amazing things in Haiti, for Haiti. And I always said that, without our heritage, without our legacy and cremas, there would be no LS Cream. So for us, it was super important to find a way to give back to the community. So we started working with Hope for Haiti, and some proceeds of our sales actually go to that foundation. And just last year, we were able to provide filtration water water pumps to villages in the south of Haiti, to those families. So, it's so gratifying to see, like, there's our buckets, you see, all the work that you're doing that is actually helping these families. So again, that's something that's I'm actually very, very proud of doing, of giving back also.
We're proud also when we see people like, at the beginning, it was really, I had messages from people, random people that were just said, you inspire me, like, to, like, get out of the streets, and, because you're breaking barriers, and it's just, you never know who you're gonna inspire, your impact, So, that's what I'm proud of, on top of what Myriam said also.
And also to be able to share this with the world, like, yes, cremas, it's something that's Haitian, we're both of Haitian descent, but this is for everybody. The same way that you drink another cream liqueur, like, we want you to also taste LS and also get a little piece of our heritage within it. So, yeah. Conquer the world. Definitely, continue our growth within Canada, but also within the States, get in more and more states within the next couple of years. Eventually, also get to other markets such as Africa, and also, work on different varieties of LS, different flavors, different formats. Also, is what we're working on. So that's the next plan.
I think like you said, expansion, growth within our main market, which is the U.S., and getting to the 50 states, getting to the major chains, and we already got approved with Hyatt hotels. So for us, for them to have our back the way they do, it's really awesome, and we're gonna have more partnership coming soon. That's what's next for LS. For us, what's really important is the fact that we get the support of our community, and we already see it. But if you go somewhere and they don't carry LS, don't be afraid to tell them or tell us that you go to that liquor store or this restaurant and you think it should be a good match, because sometimes people, they love discovering new things. Without the customers, like without our consumers, like we're nothing. We're basically nothing. And the love that we get, all the DMs that we get when people tag us, like it's something that we really appreciate, and it makes us really happy every time we see it. We're like, oh my God, like somebody somewhere bought our bottle, and like we have no connection with them. It's just, they just love the product. They just found out about us. But yeah, just keep on sharing the story and the brand, and yeah.
That's it.